Welcome back. This is my third video in this series for confidence interval. If you have not watched the previous sections, please kindly go back to my YouTube to watch it. Now here, we are dealing with proportion. And for proportion, here we assume that the population standard deviation is given, even though we don't need it. So the same approach for constructing the confidence interval will be used, which is the point estimate minus the margin of error. The point estimate plus the margin of error. And our point estimate in this case is going to be our P-hat. And our P-hat is defined as x over n. But since we are using the TI-84 calculator, there's no need to calculate anything. Let's go straight to the problem. Our example says, a phone dealer like to estimate the proportion of customers who still own the same phones they purchased 5 years earlier. A random sample of 500, that is, your sample size is 500. Customers selected from the dealer's record indicated that 245 still own the same phone. That is the number of sources. Your X is 245. Now the first question is, give a point estimate for the proportion. Our point estimate, like I said, is P-hat, which is x over n. And this is 245 over 500. Recall, we are calculating proportion. Your numerator is always smaller compared with the denominator. So here we have 245 divided by 500. And that gives 0.49. So this is our point estimate, or let's say proportion. Now, give a 99% confidence interval for the true proportion of customers who still own the same phone they purchased 5 years earlier from this dealer. Now, to do this, we're going to be using 1 prop z interval, because here we are working with just only one proportion. And to do this, we go to Start, Test. So click on Start, then you go to Test, and you come straight down to 1 prop z interval. You click on it, then you plug in the information. Our X is 245, N is 500, and our C is 99%, which is 0.99. Calculate. So the confidence interval, you can see that our P-hat is 0.49, just like this, 0.49. You can see this, but the confidence interval for this is 0.4324, 0.5476. Or you can put this in percentage, which is 43.24%, 54.76%. Next, it says, what is the margin of error for the confidence interval? Recall from the first video, please kindly go back to the YouTube to watch the first video. It says that to calculate the margin of error, it is going to be your upper bound minus your lower bound over 2. Okay? Or you can use another formula. The other formula for calculating the margin of error is, you can use the critical value, which is Z alpha, multiplied by your P-hat times Q-hat over N, where your Q-hat is 1 minus p. If you use this formula or this, you're going to get the same thing. Now, but I'm going to use this because it is short and faster. The upper bound we have here is 0.5476 minus the lower bound, which is or they can call it lower limit, either way, lower limit, upper limit, over 2. So here I have 0.5476 minus 0.4324 divided by 2. So the margin of error is very small, which is 0.0576. Next, interpret the meaning of the confidence interval in part 2. So what is the interpretation for this? Like I said in my previous video, your interpretation will go back to the problem you have. And you start your interpretation of confidence interval with we are, look at the percentage, 99% confident. Don't forget that we are reporting for the population. We are 99% confident that what? The true proportion of customers, that the true proportion of customers who still own the same phones they purchased five years earlier. From this dealer. So we're talking about the entire proportion is between 43.24% to 54.76%. Thank you very much for watching. If you find this very useful and insightful, please click on the subscribe button. See you next time. And if you have any question you would like to ask, you can put that in the comment section. I'm going to provide answer to it.